they're not coming after me, they're coming after you. 2 words. After you, that's what they say. Drain the swamp, root out the deep state. We will win, and we will win, and we will win. For those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. Now we're winning, winning, winning. If you fuck around with us, if you do something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Today is April 11th, 2024. Shout out to everybody catching this on the live. If you're catching this on the live, come on in, come on in. If you're catching this on the replay, type in replay in the comment section down below. And as always, just a little housekeeping. I'm going to go ahead and place timestamps at the bottom of this so you can jump back, forward and back, however you choose to do your thing. I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody catching us on the live because today is Friday. It is Friday. It's Friday night and the moon is bright.
It's Friday night and the mood is right. We're gonna have some fun, show you how it's done.
TGIF. You guys remember that? What is going on? Let's get a quick roll call. I want to give a huge shout out to the moderators in the chat. Shout out to the moderators in the chat. What is up? What is up? Shout out to the mods. And then shout out to everybody catching this on the live. Let's get a quick roll call. What's going on, my mind? What is up? This thing is repeating. What is going on, my mind? What is up, Rob? What is up, Moon Jan Innocent? Man, Jessica Velasquez in the house. Daikon, what is up? I said 2024. Excuse me. It is 2025. Thank you for that. It is 4/11/2025. It's been one of those days. It's been one of those days. I was up early today. I was working on some coding and stuff like that. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. Hope everybody's doing great today, by the way. Hope everybody's doing great. It's Friday. Thank you, Daikon. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Today is Friday. Let me repeat the date, 4/11/2025. We got some crazy stuff going on. Let's jump into this. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. So let's jump into this. They said that the 2020 election was the most secure in history until Trump started winning again. And then suddenly they started claiming foreign interference, hacked machines, and all of a sudden proof of citizenship is racist. And this is what the left is calling it. They're saying you got to prove proof of citizenship and it's racist. The people who spent 4 years calling Donald Trump a threat to democracy, raised an eyebrow about mail-in ballots, now are filing lawsuits, crying MSNBC and accusing Donald Trump of stealing the election. Come on, give it a rest, Karen. Give it a rest, Rachel Madcow. And on the Arizona front, Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays suing Trump because he wants people to show ID. Yeah. If requiring ID is oppression, I guess getting carded at Applebee's is a civil rights violation now. And Tulsi Gabbard, the other day during the cabinet meeting, she dropped a grenade in the ballot box, not literally, figuratively. She says the electronic voting systems are so vulnerable, hackers could flip votes like pancakes. And she brought receipts to that. We're going to jump into that. Trump's playing chess. He signed an executive order demanding proof of citizenship to vote, and banned ballots that show up after Election Day. I think this is all good stuff. The left is acting like they're burning the Constitution and lighting cigars with it. Don't worry, Gavin Newsom is still in the news. Gavin Newsom, not to fix elections, not to fix the border, but to let Mexico dump raw sewage into Navy SEAL training zones. Yuck. While the Democrats are screaming about climate justice and plastic straws, actual human feces is being poured into California from Tijuana, and our elite military trainees are swimming all up in it. SEALs in sewage, that's what I'm dubbing it. So if you need voter ID to buy NyQuil, but not to vote, it doesn't make sense. This is the same guy, Gavin Newsom is the same guy that said the border was secure and is now letting raw sewage pour into California like it's a Taco Tuesday aftermath. When the left wins, they call it saving democracy. When they lose, they call fraud, they call Russia. They're mad at Trump because he's doing the exact same thing to them that they did to him for the past 8 years. Election hypocrisy is so thick you can cut it with a butter knife. Border sewage coming straight from a third world pipeline, real voter integrity, Trump's war on the cartel, gang leaders in sanctuary cities. And for dessert today, we have Alina Habba torching NJ's governor and Tulsi Gabbard, hunting hacked ballot boxes with DOJ green lights. Let's jump in. What is up, everybody that's rolling in from the live? What's going on, Betty? Betty says, tell us something good. It's beautiful out today. We're living another day. We got something good. I got something good coming up here in a minute. Joe says 411 used to be the number you dialed for information. What's going on, Missy? Innocent man in the house. Cindy, what is up? What is up? How come none of the Democrats are not resisting the real ID? I wonder why. I wonder why the Democrats aren't resisting the real ID. I wonder why. Because they already got all the hombres in. Now they're getting all dialed out. Drive safe, Rob. It seems like real ID would make Dems as mad as voter ID. It would make sense, right? Catherine in the house. What is up? They need to make an example of these corrupt politicians that want other countries to vote in elections. Yep. Bring back accountability. My mind says, whew, we got some stuff rocking today. I'm not sure if 411 still gets information, Cindy. I haven't called it in a long time. I have not called 411 in a long time. I have not. Whew, my neck. I just put some it's called DSMO, I believe it's called. DSMO with some distilled water. DSMO. Let me just double check. Yes, DMSO. With some distilled water, because my shoulders are feeling tight. And it is burning up a storm up in here. It is burning up a storm. Anyways, let's jump into this first topic. So here's the good news. Here is the good news. White House moves the Obama portrait. They set out with Obama. This is a report coming directly from the Hill. A portrait of Donald Trump was in place of Obama. They removed Obama's photo and then put Donald Trump. I think this is a savage move. The artwork of the 47th president shows him bloody with the American flag waving behind him as he survived the assassination attempt last July. The White House spokesperson didn't immediately return a request for comment, but the artist, comment about the artist behind the painting. Let's jump into this here.
Allahu Akbar,
How cool is that? This guy has his mugshot up in the near as you're walking in the Oval Office. This is along the tour. They got rid of the Obama stuff. He's like, hey, we're coming back. America is back, baby. America is back. Yeah, Trump is absolutely hilarious. I just love the way that he trolls. It is fantastic. Oh, man. After 4 years of claiming the U.S. elections were the most secure ever. Remember when they said this? They said the 2020 election was the most secure election in history. Now that Trump won, the left, they're screaming that it's rigged. They're saying he rigged it. Him and Elon, they rigged it. What? The left is melting down faster than MSNBC and CNN's ratings. The last 4 years, we've been lectured about the most secure election ever. In the latest bizarre twist of logic, lefts are again accusing Donald Trump of planning to steal an election, even though the last 4 years they insisted it was impossible. Come on, guys. Come on. What is up? Remember when Mark Zuckerberg gave millions and millions of dollars to the Biden administration? Now he's on Team Trump because he doesn't want to go to jail. Anyways, Arizona Attorney General joins multi-state lawsuit against Donald Trump. Trump's executive orders on elections.
Executive order introduced by President Donald Trump looking to have more federal control over elections, the latest target of lawsuits by the state's top law enforcement official. 19 states, including Arizona, are suing the Trump administration, calling his executive order on elections an unconstitutional invasion of state and congressional election regulation.
Nowhere, absolutely nowhere, does the Constitution give the president or the executive branch any independent power to modify the state's procedures for conducting federal elections?
This is the 9th time Attorney General Chris Mays has sued the Trump administration.
I feel like a broken record at this point, but in the United States of America, we do not have kings.
Secretary of State Adrian Fontes assisted on the lawsuit, saying Trump's order would make voting more difficult and claiming
this administration doesn't want our elections to be secure.
Trump's executive order signed last week would overhaul American elections, including by taking some power from local governments. It would require proof of citizenship to vote, which is already
that should be a mandatory thing. You need proof. You need ID to buy alcohol. You should need ID to vote. They stole the Arizona election. You should need ID to vote. You should be a United States citizen to vote.
Required in Arizona and asks election officials to share voter lists with the Trump administration. Trump says his plan would reduce voting from non-citizens, already an exceedingly rare issue. Trump has narrowed his focus on denials of election results since his own loss in 2020. Elections officials like Fontes say this is the latest effort by the president to degrade trust in elections, this time by using the power of the White House.
They've been lying and establishing an argument for the kidnapping of all of this power.
Beyond their moral objection. Fontes and May say the executive order may well be illegal on multiple fronts, not only because it overreaches with the president's powers, as elections are meant to be run by the state, but because they say it could put voter information at risk.
This litigation may very well show that doing so might be illegal.
Some of Mays' lawsuits have already stopped Trump's executive actions, and Mays is urging local officials to not turn over election data or comply until the lawsuit moves forward.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
Haven't been in a situation as perilous as we are now since the Civil War.
We'll continue to follow up on this.
Since the Civil War? Are you kidding me? What's going on, artillery man? I pray for all God's warriors and their families. Amen to that. Amen to that. 100%. Jessica Velasquez, they're able to get away with stealing the 2020 election because of COVID. I remember I went to bed. I was like, Donald Trump is in the lead. And then all of a sudden I woke up. I probably went to bed about 1 o'clock. I woke up and guess who won? Joey B. Joey B won because they presumably drove in a bunch of votes. Absolutely disgusting. Don't worry your pretty little head over election security, little lady. Go into your corner and shut up.
Got him!
Oh, man. They loved Elon when he was a Democrat. Absolutely, they did. Well, if states would actually legally regulate, right? Exactly. Last time I checked, you can't play broken records. Oh, the election fraud continues. Tulsi Gabbard exposes that the election integrity, these electronic voting systems are vulnerable to hackers. No crap. PBD did a full podcast on this, showing how easy it was to hack into these voter systems. This is why Donald Trump is advocating for paper ballots.
Evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast, which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the integrity of our elections. Thanks to your leadership and setting the mandate of transparency and accountability across the U.S. government, I'm bringing that transparency and accountability to the intelligence community, first and foremost, to make sure that you and your cabinet have that real-time, relevant, apolitical, objective intelligence to best inform whether it's negotiations for peace, negotiations around tariffs, the great work that you are leading around the cabinet today. Secondly, working with Department of Homeland Security and the FBI to increase our information sharing to achieve your goal of countering the narcotic trafficking and our ability to go after cartels now designated as foreign terrorists. I met with the National Sheriff's Association this week, being able to work to make sure that the information that they are getting on the ground, that local law enforcement is getting on the ground, is being fed back up through to our National Counterterrorism Center, and that we have all of the federal agencies, state and local law enforcement all on the same page as we are working to make our country safe again. And lastly, sir, as you know, declassification and rooting out weaponization, politicization of the intelligence community is a huge priority. You know more than anyone else the very dangerous and negative consequences of that. I've got a long list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast, which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the integrity of our elections.
You know, I think the Democrats are just mad and they're continuing to demand censorship. You know, they jailed grandmas from J6 and redefined truth via the DOJ and the FBI. And now they're turning around to throw a tantrum because Their presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, couldn't fill a high school gym.
And lastly, we've been scanning. I've had over 100 people working around the clock to scan the paper around RFK, Senator Robert F. Kennedy's assassination, as well as Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. These have been sitting in boxes in storage for decades. They have never been scanned or seen before. We'll have those ready to release here within the next few days.
That's great. Bobby, how do you feel about that? That's hitting,
I'm very gratified to hear.
That's hitting close to home, isn't
Yeah,
it?
no
When you
kidding.
think,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Bobby when
No.
when that statement's made.
I'm very grateful to you, Mr. President.
Bobby already knows what's going on. Bobby already knows who killed his dad. Bobby already knows who did the JFK situation. Bobby already knows. Bobby interviewed the individual that that presumably shot RFK Sr. He already knows who did it, at least in my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about that chat. Corn Pop is a bad dude. I can't believe, I still cannot believe that is the best quality candidate. Back in 2020, that was the best quality candidate that you had to put up was Corn Pop. And the best quality candidate that you could put up in the 2024 election was Kamala Harris. Kamala heads down Harris. Get rid of mail-in ballots, my mind says. You can't pull this crap in other countries. You can't. You cannot. We can't go. Somebody wrote in the chat, we can't go vote in other countries. We can't go vote in other countries. So why would other countries want to vote over here? BS, go to your voting place. See what stack of names of voters, and you see the address listed. My info is already at risk. Yep. They just know that they'll never win another election if they can't at least try to cheat. Believe that. I believe that. 80% of American people want voter ID. Why wouldn't you? I don't want some hombre voting for me 60 times. Before the 2020 elections, when Biden stayed in his basement at least 5 days, he could have campaigned. I knew it was fixed. He knew he was going to win. Yep. Who's Corn Pop? Corn Pop is Joe Biden. Joey B. There was a presser that he did, and he was like, Corn Pop's a bad dude. He used to just say some outlandish crap. I agree. He knows that's why they used his family to try to bash him. Heads down, heels up, Harris. Soros banned from other countries too. Yep, they know that they have to cheat. They have to cheat in order to win. This is an article from OAN, American News Network. House Republicans approve a bill requiring proof of citizenship to vote. Kudos. Second time House Republicans have passed a bill that will require voters to have proof of citizenship in order to vote in federal elections. This should be a normal thing. Bill requires applicants to present documents, proof of U.S. citizenship, such as a valid passport, birth certificate, and other forms of identification to prove that the individual is a U.S. citizen. Here in Nevada, actually, when I voted this past go around, it was actually really nice because, and I agree with you, my mind, because I don't think mail-in ballots should be valid. When I went to vote this recent election, I actually signed when I originally registered to vote, I signed my name more neatly than I do now. I have like a couple variations. I have the quick scribble version of the signature, and then I have the nice signature strokes as I'm throwing my pen up in the air. And I just kind of scribbled it, and he was like, "Hey, this doesn't match." And I was happy about that. I was happy that he was like, "Hey, can you sign it again the way that you signed it originally when you registered a long time ago?" And I was like, "Sure." And that actually made me more confident in the voting procedures. Let's go, Brandon. We need a driver's license. Just like the real ID. We need a license to fly. Yep. How about the license to fly the planes? Because these planes these days, oh man. Yeah, my mind posted something in the Discord group. And if you're not part of the Discord group, drop into the Discord group. The link is down below. But the helicopter that went down with the Siemens CEO, and they were going on the helicopter flight. They were going on the helicopter flight for his wife's birthday. That was a trip for his wife's birthday. That's sad. I don't know what happened there. It's just sad. These planes are clipping wings. Everything's going. I'm actually kind of nervous to fly. Then there was my signature from the pharmacy driver. It looks like I'm drunk or only 7 years old when I sign his phone for the scripts. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Let me know if you guys know what's going on with these planes. Let me know. My mind has some interesting perspectives when it comes to, the flights. I know some of you other folks in the chat have some interesting situations that's going on with these flights and these planes just crashing everywhere. It's crazy. Betty writes, a small plane crashed in Florida today. Remember right after Donald Trump got elected, it was like every week. Did we ever find out what happened to that Mexican flight? The Mexican airplane that went down and destroyed the street? What happened there? Yeah. How does a finger written signature verify anyone? It doesn't. But at least it's something, At least it's something. All right. We got this situation going on in California. California. Millions of gallons of sewage is flowing into the Tijuana River from Mexico that will end up in San Diego. It's gross. It's flowing across the southern border. Let me get this up here. It's flowing across the southern border. It's not just, because there's no more migrants flowing across the southern border. It's sewage. Gavin Newsom is over here starting a podcast, stroking his ego, banning plastic straws in California, telling California business owners that they can't operate their business. And San Diego is over here drowning in Tijuana feces water. This is California. Welcome to California. They were over here arguing about climate equity and green justice initiatives. Meanwhile, the waterways of this raw sewage is just flowing across the southern border from Mexico into California. It's not just in the beaches either. It's flowing into an area where our Navy SEALs are training, where they train on and offshore. Our special forces are training in Tijuana feces toilet water. And Gavin Newsom is over here posing for Vogue magazine next to wind farms while he buys his $9 million house. Sewage, tires, diapers, toxic chemicals are just flowing directly into San Diego.
A big setback in the South Bay sewage crisis that we have been covering for years. Another 5 million gallons of sewage a day is flowing into the Tijuana River and will end up here in the U.S. ABC 10 News reporter Tali Latoy spoke with local experts about the impact and what this means for South Bay communities.
Tonight, Mexico says it's trying to activate its lift station to remove as much wastewater as it can before it gets to the U.S. But at this rate, it could be too late, and the longtime problem here in the South Bay could get worse before it gets better.
It's very frustrating, and you know it's not going to get better.
Concerns are skyrocketing in the South Bay community around the decades-long Tijuana sewage crisis.
It's like clockwork. We don't need to know the numbers. You could just smell it.
Especially for Dr. Kim.
You don't need to know the numbers. You could just smell it. You could just smell the feces just pouring in. Don't worry about the numbers. It just freaking stinks.
Burley and Dr. Matthew Dixon, who see it firsthand as more sewage gets closer to home.
The patients who live, our community who lives down there, this was in the middle of the night. They weren't notified. I'm concerned about their health.
In a statement Wednesday, the International Boundary and Water Commission said Mexico had informed them it's already started dumping roughly 5 million gallons of wastewater into the Tijuana River.
The numbers are alarming when you see that, considering the threshold that we're looking at that's set by the standards through California Air Resources Board is 30 parts per billion, and we're talking 400 to 500 parts per billion.
5 million for 5 days, impacting local communities directly.
It's definitely not going to feel good living close to those numbers wherever you are.
Look at this. This is a sign. This is a sign right here. Keep out the water. Sewage and chemical contamination in the water on this beautiful beach. Water contact may cause illness. What? And these beautiful homes in the back. This is why they bought this home, so they can go to the beach, not to swim in swamp thing water. Under the Democrat rule, nothing seems to get fixed. Everything seems to get promised. We'll promise you everything and nothing gets fixed.
Worsening an already grim situation for the residents in the area.
When we wake up and the smell is bad, then the patients start coming in with wheezing, with headaches, with nausea.
While it's exacerbated, they're calling on more action at all levels to make it safe again.
This is new territory for everybody, but it shouldn't be in a community setting, and we shouldn't have people exposed to it day in and day out.
Meantime, the county says it's monitoring the situation. In Imperial Beach.
This is gross. This is gross. San Diego County Supervisor Jim Desmond showing Mexico floods California with raw sewage. It is absolutely disgusting. While under the Biden administration, they were not so much worried about these beaches because this has been going on for decades. But in their opinion, the real emergency is cows farting in Iowa. We can't have cows fart because of the flatulence. It causes climate change.
Border has been in the news a lot lately, particularly in the last 4 years. And primarily it was about the thousands of people that were pouring across into San Diego County and across the San Diego sector of the border into our country. Well, that has stopped. About 95% of that has stopped, and thanks to our new administration and the Border Patrol. But this has been going on for decades. This is sewage water pouring across from Mexico with all sorts of other garbage, tires, plastics, diapers, anything you can think of that's imaginable across this huge culvert. This is massive. This cement culvert that runs through Tijuana that people can throw their garbage into, they throw their put sewage into, their chemicals into it. Nobody's checking it, nobody's testing it, and here it is coming into our country unabated. Right across the river here, you can see the border fence. You can see the sewage water coming past. And over here in front of me is a shopping mall. This is a mall with restaurants and stores and things like that, with a sewage river running right behind it. People are just throwing their garbage, their sewage, their trash into these culverts, and they end up here polluting our waters, making our children and our military sick. And who's having to deal with and clean up this mess? You are, the U.S. taxpayer. In a few weeks, I'm going to be going to Washington, D.C., and I'm going to be talking to the Environmental Protection Agency. I'm going to be talking to some of the top leaders there. I'm hoping to speak with Lee Zeldin, the actual head of that department, to talk about this issue here. This is an environmental catastrophe, needs to be dealt with, and this is a travesty, not just for San Diego and San Diego County, but for the country of the United States, for having another country just dump their sewage into the waterways, and we have to live with it.
It's gross. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom wants to fine people that have gas stoves and not worry about the human feces and trash that's flowing into California. Where are the climate control warriors now? The climate patrol. Secret border crisis. Mexico is sending their raw sewage in the United States, making people sick. This is another clip here.
The beaches are out here in San Diego, but don't be deceived. There's actually raw sewage in the water, and it's coming from Mexico. They've got these signs warning people. Apparently the locals know about this. It's been going on for a long time, but Mexico, Tijuana.
Look at this. This is disgusting. All of this. This is gross.
Tijuana, Mexico is sending their raw sewage down the Tijuana River right into San Diego. Goes right into San Diego County and then feeds out into the ocean.
The Mexican authorities are not doing what they were supposed to do. Sewage was not supposed to be part of the deal.
The smell out here is just, it's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
You see the trash, but people watching this cannot, it is so smelly.
Well, there's about 25 million gallons of sewage running through this. When it rains heavily, like a few days ago, the dilution was better, so the smell was not as bad, but this is year-round.
Does the change in presidents have an impact with Trump in charge now?
Not yet.
Do you think it will?
I hope so. I hope so. This is an issue that is not being addressed.
Well, unfortunately, Tijuana.
That's gross.
Has been growing. It's a border community in Mexico, and a lot of people who come from other parts of the world to come across our border. A lot of them, take up homesteads if they can't get across in Tijuana, and their facilities just can't handle the capacity. And unfortunately, they've got this huge culvert that goes through their cities, and everything gets thrown in there, all of the trash, and it flows into the U.S.
That's gross. I'm going to jump into the comments here. What's going on, Terry? Terry in the house. What is up? What is up? Gavin Newsom is a piece of He is absolutely worthless. He has no business in any part of our government. Amen to that. I agree with you there. It's starting to feel intentional. Think about it. They burned California. Now they've been pushing this sewage water into there. Imagine what these folks are drinking. Pretty soon they're not even going to be able to drink the water. It's literally going to be a run parallel with Tijuana or Mexicali. It's really sad what California has become. I will not vacation there. Climate clowns. Amen to that, Rob. Yeah, that beautiful water, our beautiful Cali. Holy moly, why is this still happening? Why did they let our beautiful water? Yeah, it's been going on for decades. It's freaking time to divert it back. Yep, just run a pipe directly back. Welcome to the garbage state. Oh, man. They really want to sell off the land. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. California 2.0 is the vision, right? What's going on, Dry Heat? What is up? What is up? All right, be sure to smash the like button. Let's jump into this next topic here. We got Miss Habba. Miss Habba, okay? Details, a bombshell investigation into the NJ.
The Maryland immigrant who was wrongly deported to El Salvador, to that mega prison there, he must be returned to the U.S. Alina Habba is the interim U.S. Attorney General in New Jersey, and she joins me now. All right, Alina, welcome back to the show. How would we get that person and bring him back to America? How are we going to do it?
Probably the same way he went out, by a plane, I would assume.
You know what I mean?
Look, there's something more important. Look, there's something more important here, which is if you look at what the Department of Justice's comments were on this, and I'll echo them, the Supreme Court already said that there is deference to the executive branch and that we have to respect the president's orders. That has been made clear, that he could continue to conduct deportations. That is also clear. And we are following executive orders and federal law. We are cleaning up the streets. That is what the DOJ is doing. Now, what happened here is we have, like we've seen many, many times since this administration began, was that there were a lot of orders trying to change what the executive orders say, halt them, stop them. And there's going to be continuous, I think, conflict here because we have some of these judges that are using platforms to be political. And that really does have to stop. I've said that for years. What would happen with this individual, literally, quite literally, is that they want him shipped back and to, again, go through the courts and have due process.
It's gonna cost a lot of
he was
money.
obviously arrested. He was obviously an illegal. There's no question about that. And by being an illegal, by definition, under the executive order, we are told that those, and they are, criminals. They have entered this country illegally. Now, this will continue to happen, unfortunately, and unfortunately for America, this wastes a lot of taxpayer dollars. We're removing people that illegally came in, and now they want them to come back, only to find, guess what? They illegally came in. It's becoming absurd. It's a waste of time, frankly, and money.
I've got a report that says the governor of New Jersey has ordered state police to stop cooperating with ICE. Okay, yeah. I heard it. You're the New Jersey person at the moment, Attorney General. What are you going to do? The U.S. Attorney. What are you going to do about this?
As I announced last night on Hannity, I actually have ordered my office to begin an investigation into Governor Murphy and Attorney General Platkin's offices. Anybody who violates or requires or directs local and state law enforcement to harbor and conceal, to violate federal crime, and to ignore executive orders will be prosecuted in the state of New Jersey if they are found to have committed a crime. That is what is going to happen. Now, I know America gets very frustrated, but we have to investigate first. Once we do, if there is a crime, they will be charged.
You shouldn't be harboring illegals. Okay? Unless they make some good papusas. Okay? Just joking. But you shouldn't be harboring illegals. You shouldn't be trying to keep them safe. Because this was a direct order by the Trump administration to get these folks out of here. In this situation, we're wanting this individual to come back to the United States. Then he wants to be trialed. Then he's going to go back to where he came from. It's just going to cost a bunch of money. Waste of money. He was here illegally. Just keep them there. Keep them there. The left legacy media is saying, oh, he was wrongfully deported. Well, he was illegal. He was an illegal hombre. Shouldn't have been here in the first place. And it's great to hear that Ms. Habba is going after New Jersey because they're refusing to work with ICE and Tom Homan. That's a crime, at least in my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think about it. Drop it down in the comment section. Drop it down in the chat here. Innocent Man writes, our votes don't matter in Cali. They elect themselves. They do, and it sucks. It sucks. Because that place went down the toilet. That place went down the drain. Newscomb is spending too much time on his sad podcast instead of doing his dang job. Absolutely, 100%. This guy's ego stroking. You know why they shave their heads? That way they can't bring lice into prison. Wow. Wow. I didn't know that. They're all stuck in one cell for the most part. These guys are stuck in one cell. That's a crappy way to live out the rest of your days. That is a very crappy way to live the rest of your days. In a cell with some other gang members, with some folks from maybe alliance gangs or maybe non-alliance gangs. That sucks. Yep, exactly, Dry Heat. 100%. If they fought half as hard for Americans, they wouldn't need illegals to win elections. Yep. Listen to this. Caroline Leavitt was pressed on this MS-13 leader deportation. I watched a little bit of this interview, and I wanted to save it for the show. But she was getting pressed kind of hard, ridiculously hard. Let me know what you guys think about this.
Caroline Leavitt. Caroline, welcome. Great to have you here this afternoon. Can you shed some light on this? Because it was a story that we all covered, that he was the East Coast leader of MS-13. So what was the evidence that supported that proclamation by the Department of Justice and the FBI?
Here at the White House, we applaud the Attorney General Pam Bondi, our FBI Director Kash Patel, for working hand in hand with local law enforcement on the ground in the Commonwealth of Virginia to detain and arrest this MS-13 ringleader. There was sufficient evidence to do so, and now the case is in the hands of the Department of Homeland Security, who will be deporting this individual from our country. These agencies are working together in a collaborative way to follow President Trump's directive to eradicate MS-13 and foreign terrorists from United States soil. So this is an individual who was detained and arrested because of the president's policies, and he will no longer be residing in the United States of America. And our
I'm just trying to get some clarity on it, Caroline, because, if indeed he is what we were told he is, the East Coast leader of MS-13, wouldn't it make sense to prosecute him for crimes related to that? I know he was held on a gun charge, but to make sure that any victims of MS-13 through his leadership get their day in court here in the United States, and then send him to an El Salvadoran prison if he is deported and found guilty on those crimes.
Well, again, this administration is doing things differently, Martha, and this president has made a directive to his agencies, particularly the Department of Homeland Security, to remove foreign terrorists from America's homeland to protect American citizens. And we have an incredible diplomatic relationship with the president of El Salvador and his government, who have been detaining these MS-13 ringleaders and violent gang members in their prisons. And American taxpayers don't have to foot the bill for that cost. And so, again, the bottom line
here, the Supreme Court said that the Alien Act could be used to remove people, but they had to reach due process first. I'm only pressing on this because it was a huge story and we covered it. Obviously, it would feel like that person could lead to a lot of other evidence. The DOJ would be pressing to see this in court so that other people could be exposed. And suddenly none of that's happening. So can you explain why the change of course in this particular case?
Again, what I can tell you is that the president gave a directive to eradicate MS-13 ringleaders and gang members from our nation's communities. That is what's happening here. And to anyone who believes that these individuals should be living in America, the American people think differently. That's why they reelected this president by a historic margin.
I don't know why this lady's pressing Miss Leavitt so hard. Like, I get it, you know, like, you know, maybe they could get an additional information from this leader if he goes to court. But at the end of the day, either he's going to end up, quote unquote, axing himself. He's not going to rat out his crew. So just toss him away. There's already a new leader in place.
That's not what we're suggesting. We're just asking if he's, you know, should be held in a prison somewhere until he faces justice in the country. But
he should be removed from American soil, and that is the policy that this administration is following.
Okay, lots obviously to talk about. A big cabinet meeting that we just watched play out this afternoon, and lots of news made there with regard to China and what we anticipate will come next with what it has obviously turned into a full.
So they're just going to jump into the tariff situation, but I don't know why she was pressing this person so hard, or I don't know why she was pressing Leavitt so hard. Insider trading woman on the left. Why is she so scared? Millions of them can't get a day in court. Exactly. It'd just be too much. They came here illegally. They already committed crimes. This was the executive order signed. Just get them out of here. That's just what it is. They'll figure out. They've been pretty eloquent with putting pieces together about this whole situation anyways. So they found this person. I'm sure they're going to find the other person. They're going to find another person. And then get them out. Just my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. The media must go. So sick of the propaganda. Do not pass go. Don't collect $200. Oh. I'm going to jump into the chat here. The woman who testified in front of Congress said they brought bed bugs to her apartment. Ugh. Bed bugs are nasty. Bed bugs are nasty. Why is my hat all crooked? All sanctuary cities are corrupt. We are 50 states. Why and who permitted a division which is unconstitutional? We should have all the same laws. I agree. Thanks, Don. Appreciate it. Why don't they get escorted out when they got removed notice from the judge? Oh yeah, Joey B. Next Chinese nationalists, because they are obligated to work for the CCPD or CCP spying. Yeah. I just read that right before I jumped on the live. All right, speaking of bed bugs. Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Ghetto Crockett. Chicago resident unloads on Jasmine Ghetto Crockett at a hearing. Listen to this. I want your thoughts on this.
Chicago's status as a sanctuary city coming under heavy criticism at a House hearing in Washington. A resident from Chicago unleashing on Democrats for embracing policies that she says don't have to face in their day-to-day lives.
I don't want Anybody who crossed over here illegally, unvetted, I don't want them in my community. The Democratic Party is so far from reality. They go in their gated communities. I don't see any of those people that's advocating to keep these people here. I don't see them in their house and their communities.
Joining us now is Fox News contributor Karl Rove. You can tell she feels all of that. She's not reading it. Jasmine Crockett, a congresswoman from Texas, had this to say, though.
My Republican colleagues are here using today to continue pushing this false narrative of sanctuary cities harboring criminals. Yet right here in D.C., we have a 34-count felon being harbored in the White House. The hypocrisy coming from your side of the aisle over concerns regarding lawlessness is outrageous.
I feel like the Democrats seem to be, especially Jasmine Crockett, are just talking about something totally separate from what the...
And she's been consistently doing this. Regardless on what the hearing's about, she's like, we got a 34 count convicted felon up in the White House. I don't know what he finna do. She didn't even listen to the lady talking to her. She didn't even acknowledge. I know this is just a bite of it, a sound bite of it. But this has been a consistent thing from Miss Crockett. She's really living it up. She's really living up this pandering situation. Making me itchy, seriously. My mind says that wig needs some help after listening to this crazy chick. Who's gonna pick our cotton? Jasmine Crockett. Oh man, she's really trying to hit the headlines. She's really trying to work it. She's working for the gherkin or the Birkin, whatever the verbiage is. She's working for the gherkin. Jasmine built like a bed bug. She's one of those women who talk and I have to get away from. I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine hanging out with her. Got this sister mentality. Man. Still the party of slavery. Yep. I came across this clip. I thought I'd share this with you guys. Let me know what you guys think about this. This is hilarious. Let me switch this up here.
I am Filipino-Japanese, second generation. I'm a disabled trans man, but I'm also a Medicaid patient. I'm also a person who uses food stamps. I'm also a person who has been through houselessness in this country. I'm also a person who has gone through substance use and addiction. And most of all, I am a patient of Planned Parenthood.
Oh my Lord. What?
I am everything that Donald Trump and Elon Musk want to erase.
Checked all the boxes. Checked all the boxes during the Biden administration. This person would have got a job like that. Be like, I'm a trans man. I was homeless. I'm a thought leader of Planned Parenthood. I'm on Medicaid. I'm on Medicare. I have one leg. My eye's missing. I got 3 breasts. And I'm half black. This person would have got a job like that with government benefits and everything. Food stamps. The gold medalist of the woke Olympics gives the victory speech. Yeah, let me play this again. Hold on.
Black. I am Filipino Japanese.
Oh, it's half black. Okay.
I am Filipino Japanese, second generation. I'm a disabled trans man, but I'm also a Medicaid patient. I'm also a person who uses food stamps. I'm also a person who has been through houselessness in this country. I am also a person who has gone through substance use and addiction. And most of all, I am a patient of Planned Parenthood.
Oh my Lord. What?
I am everything that Donald Trump and Elon Musk want to erase.
Not anymore, bro. Your ass is getting cut off. Oh man. This reminds me of that what was that lady that that hands-off speech? Let me see. Hold on. Where is it at? Where is this? Oh, hands off. Oh, I can't find it. Let me see if I can find it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Patient if Planned Parenthood. Oh, yeah. I can't with these people. There was actually some studies that show that there's like a mental disorder going on. It is a serious mental disorder. This person says, I don't know. This dude, right? I don't know. Is this a dude? I don't know. I don't know if this is a dude. Looks like a dude. So I'm gonna call this person a dude. But it's like all these folks have some type of mental disorder. There is something going on. There is something going on with these folks. Hey, Tyson and everyone. That's a hell of a resume. Yeah, I don't know what to call this. You know, looks like a dude, so I'm gonna call this person a dude. I don't know. Did you guys see Bernie Sanders and the Anderson Cooper interview when Anderson Cooper was like, "Oh, she's a blah 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 blah," and then she's like, "No, I'm a they them." What? Let me see if I can find it. Right here. Here we go.
Sanders. I want to introduce Grace Thomas. She's a local civil rights attorney. She's a Democrat. Grace?
They, them pronouns, actually. Thank you.
Oh.
Good evening, Senator Sanders. Polling and turnout data indicate that men of all racial
Bernie's face. Excuse me. It's actually they, them. It's they, them.
Paul, we're back with Senator Bernie Sanders. I want to introduce Grace Thomas. She's a local civil rights attorney. She's a Democrat. Grace?
They, them pronouns, actually. Thank you.
Oh.
Good evening, Senator Sanders. Polling and turnout data indicate that men of all racial demographics are turning away from the Democratic Party.
Oh man, I can't with these people. They, them, Filipino, Japanese, disabled food stamp user. I'm looking for a job. I'm a they, them, food stamp, disabled, Planned Parenthood, half black, half Asian, partial Indian, blind in one eye, and I have no lower limbs. And I'm looking for a job. Biden administration. Yep, sure, you got it. You got it. What are your what are your credentials? I don't have any. I haven't worked since 92. Perfect. Oh, yeah, houseless too, I forgot. Oh man. All right. All right, guys. I'm gonna jump. Let me turn off this banner here. I'm probably gonna stream tomorrow. Wow, I'm like lost in all the they them. I'm going to stream tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. It'll probably be in the morning time sometime, like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. PST. I'm gonna put together something for tomorrow, and then I'll drop a couple videos over the weekend. But I'll be back Monday, 6 p.m. PST. We'll have some updates on some new stuff. And yeah, other than that, guys, let me just give a huge shout out to the moderators in the chat. I want to give a huge shout out to the mods in the chat, because without the mods, man, the mods make this thing happen. The mods are the best. And then I want to give a huge shout out to everybody catching us on the live. Shout out to everybody catching us on the live. And if you're catching this on the replay, just type in replay in the comment section down below. And then I'll place timestamps down here once the video is uploaded on YouTube. It takes a little bit, but I'll place timestamps down there so you can jump back and forth. And yeah, this is thank you guys for rocking with me on the Friday night. It's Friday night and the moon is bright.
They're not. It's Friday night and the mood is right. We're gonna have some fun, show you how it's done. TGI.
Sweet. And also, I talked to My Mind earlier today. My Mind is hosting WrestleMania. WWE fans, if those of you guys are WWE fans, it's a great time. We have a good time. We also host some other sporting events. If you're not in the Discord group, the Discord group will be in the description down below. You can tap into that. It's free. We'll be hosting WrestleMania, and then My Mind will be hosting WrestleMania. So shout out to My Mind for doing that. It's going to be April 19th and the 20th. So it's a 2-day event. We're going to do some giveaways for that. We'll do some giveaways before that as well. So if you want to rock with us and watch WrestleMania, be an awesome time. Tap into the Discord group for that. And other than that, guys, I am going to jump on out of here. I really, really appreciate each and every single one of you jumping on these lives. Really do, because without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. So I truly, truly appreciate every single one of you. Shout out to the mods. I'll be back tomorrow sometime for a live, and then standard time, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. PST. And I'm going to play with the pup. You guys have a great weekend. And till then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.